ASMR Magical Tools. Hello, Sagittarius, 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 Sagittarius. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So for the mutable signs this month, I will be burning 1 cone of this white sage backflow incense. Backflow incense. It's this little cone like this, right? Welcome back, Sagittarius. Welcome back. This will be for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of May in the year of 2021. 2021. Alright, so I think, got the hang of lighting these up. Light it up. Light it up. Sagittarius, to start your reading, I'm going to be pulling a card for you out of this Flower Magic Oracle deck. Flower Magic Oracle deck. I really love using this deck so far. The design is very similar to like what you would have seen during the late 1990s, which is an aesthetic that I really enjoy. Really enjoy it. Just shuffle the cards. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Shuffle for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Alright, so here we go, Sagittarius. The card I am pulling for you is the same card that I got for Taurus, and it is Delphinium. Delphinium, Delphinium, Delphinium. So here we go. Time to bring in some sort of protection, put up your boundary, or use reflection. Keep those you cherish or love close by. Time to fiercely protect. 'Tis do or die. Surround yourself with strong, pure light. Negative energy you can now fight. Shields up and swords at the ready. Many times in our lives we come under attack, mentally, emotionally, and sometimes even physically. Now is such a time. Exercise your absolute right to protect yourself and those you love and care about. Do what you feel is necessary to shield against negativity. Take your sword and cut the ties with those who drain you emotionally or abuse you verbally. You don't need that kind of energy attacking you on a regular basis. Beware the psychic vampires who mostly aren't even aware that they are draining the energy of others. You need to protect yourself fully against these types as they can be exhausting to deal with. Surround your house with protection on the spiritual and magical level. Keep your personal psychic shields up and metaphorical swords drawn when outside or dealing with others at this time. And I'm going to take this card and put it right here, right by my lion. doing last month with the incense going out. It happened, I was doing incense for the fixed signs videos last month, so that was Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and Aquarius, and a couple of the signs. It was going out quite a bit. But you also got protection as a motif coming out for your reading already. So there could be a scenario in which you require more protection. Sometimes psychic attack can cause your incense or your Palo Santo or your sage to go out if you are burning something to fumigate for protection. That's not necessarily the case here, but I thought I would mention it. If you think that's going on in your life, make sure that you're doing proper warding. So the deck that I'm going to be using this month is the Ethereal Visions Illuminated Tarot. And this artist, Matt Hughes, has a couple of decks out this year. The Dreamscape Oracle deck has already been released, and then the Luna Tarot will be released later this year. This is not a sponsored video, I just thought I'd mention that for those of you who are interested in this artist. My spouse has a good friend who is a Sagittarius, and this Sagittarius friend can be kind of elusive to make plans with because, as he says, inference is the most authentic or true form of communication. So rather than asking somebody what their schedule is going to be like and not getting a very direct answer, they just kind of watch that person's habits over the course of a few months and decide whether or not it would be convenient to make plans at a certain time based on that. That's not the totality of it, but I was thinking about that quite a bit right before your reading, Sagittarius, and how sometimes the best defense is a good offense. So those all being kind of like tied together in a few ways. That's not a totally misguided way to behave, because people can be elusive or change their plans sometimes. But it's really great if you're able to not only infer what somebody's schedule might be, but also talk to them about it. That being true for a lot of situations, Sagittarius. So this is going to be the Sagittarius reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. And this will cover the month of May 2021, but it might not be super specific to May depending on what comes up. These are things that you might want to know about in May, but that doesn't mean necessarily that the events therein will all be occurring within the month of May. Alright, I think I've shuffled enough. drifted off into a dream for a moment, I think. So this is the current situation, the past, the present, the future, the goal or destiny, and then we have your perspective on the current situation. We have an outsider's perspective on the current situation. We have your hopes and fears, and we have the final outcome. Final outcome. So let's look first into the past of the situation. And we have here the Page of Pentacles coming out. Page of Pentacles. So this could be a less mature earth sign person. But this could also be like just starting out financially on your own. So not being super established like a Queen or King of Pentacles, and not necessarily with money coming in, but this could be the start of a new job, possibly, or the start of a new way of making money, but you've just started doing it and you haven't become very established in it yet. Let's look at the current situation, current affairs, and we have here the Six of Wands in the reverse. Six of Wands in the reverse could be a victory for you, but it might not be a victory that comes through in the month of May. This might be a victory that you were expecting this situation to be resolved in May, and it is still kind of dragging along. And indeed, we have the Three of Wands coming out here, and it's kind of reversed, but it's also kind of in the upright. So that tells me, because it's a crossing card, it's not really inverse or upright, but that does tell me that you are waiting for something to come to fruition, and you've put energy out for this thing. Let's look at the current situation from your point of view. We have the Four of Wands, so this could be someone else's marriage, or this could be deciding not to get married, or this could be deciding to get a divorce. The Four of Wands is a card about celebrations, can also be about weddings, but because it's coming out in the reverse here, it's possible that you are kind of like, you might be getting invited to weddings or parties or something like that, and you don't really feel like that's what you want to be doing right now. That's possible. Or you could just be going to other people's functions, so other people's parties, other people's weddings. That's possible too. From an outsider's perspective, looking into the current situation for you right now, we have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups is a very nurturing and maternal type figure, a very passive kind of a figure too, somebody who does a lot of emotional labor for others. Now this could also be a water sign who is part of your life. The Queen of Cups has been coming out in the upright for a lot of the readings this month, so you're in good company there, Sagittarius. Now we're going to look at the current situation and see like kind of a reflection of the truth of that situation. And we see here the King of Cups. So we do have the King and Queen of Cups coming out here. It could be that this is you and a partner might not necessarily need to get married to really solidify your relationship. So that's possible. The King of Cups coming out here in the current situation could also be just a water sign who is in your life, and they might feel like they are doing a lot of emotional labor in the partnership with you, but actually they could be very strong emotionally. Or vice versa. It might look like you're doing a lot of emotional labor, but actually you're very strong in your feelings and in your emotional states. And so giving extra of yourself to others is not taking away from you. But we'll look more at this situation as I pull cards for the 12 houses spread using the Lenormand deck. So the future. Before I look at the future, I'm going to look at your hopes and fears, because that's the environment in which the future will be taking place. So we have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is an offering. You could be desiring or waiting for an offering to come in, and we have a lot of the cup court cards here. So we have the King of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the Page of Cups all coming out in your reading. That's a lot of emotional energy, Sagittarius. Also for the future here, we do have the Three of Swords coming out. So the Three of Swords can be a card about interpersonal conflict with somebody else. Maybe you were expecting for an offer to come in, and instead you got an argument. Because the Three of Swords is in the reverse, it could mean that you don't yet see the situation that will bring about this argument. But it could also be that you are able to avoid an argument because you make some kind of offering to another person. And this can be an offering like a business partnership, but it could also be an emotional offering to another person. So that is a possibility also for your future. And we'll look more at that again when we do the 12 houses spread. So let's look at your goal or destiny. And here in the Imam Selah, we have this King of Cups. So this is going to be the foundation for all of the events that end up occurring here in your midheaven when we end up in your goal or destiny, which is a very long-term goal energy. We have the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. And this Eight of Pentacles in the reverse could be that there is a job coming in for you, a long-term career that you do not yet see the situation surrounding. But this could also mean that you are not destined to have longevity in your work life. That is another possibility here. But we'll have to find out more about that when we look at some more of these cards that are coming out. I do see a lot of emotional energy. We do have a little bit of financial energy, money and earth energy with the pentacles here. We have a couple pentacles, but just an overwhelming abundance of cups in this reading so far. A couple of wands too, especially here in the current situation, which would be very representative of your energy, Sagittarius. Let's look at the final outcome card. The final outcome. So here in the final outcome, we have the Ten of Wands, which is a burden. The Ten of Wands is about oppression and burdens that you have to bear. Now, does that mean that May is going to be burdensome for you? Well, there are some things that could be burdensome. This offering, for example, if you're making an offering to avoid argument, the terms of that offering might end up being a burden to you in some way. And we will have to look more at this because there's really not a lot of clarity in your reading so far. Not a lot of clarity yet, Sagittarius. But we'll get into the Lenormand and then we'll see what's up. So here we have the Lenormand deck. This is the deck that I designed. So if you enjoy this design, the link to my Etsy shop is in the description of this video. And we're going to start out over here in your first house, and that is going to tell us about the self. It's going to tell us about beginnings to these situations. It might tell us a little bit more about this Page of Pentacles also. So in the first house we have the child. This is about things that are new or things being simplified. So it's very possible that there is a child in your future. Or it could be that this Page of Pentacles energy started when you were a child. And you've always kind of been trying to figure out ways to earn a living for yourself. It could be also that, like we were seeing with this Page of Pentacles card, there is a new way coming in for you to make money for yourself, for you to support yourself. I'm not going to pull that one as a jumper. Our second house is the house of finances and stability. So where are the finances and stability in your life? We have the Four of Wands here. Not getting to go to parties or something. Or not planning your own parties is a possibility too. That you're still going to parties, but maybe you're not planning your own parties. So here in the second house. Alright, maybe I will pull this one as a jumper. We have the snake. The snake can be about betrayal. Sometimes the snake is read as a brunette that wears glasses, or a brunette who wears glasses, but that seems a little obscure. The snake being about treachery, betrayal, treasons in your finance and stability sector. Remember to protect yourself. Just remember to protect yourself. That could involve anything. It could be like a living situation that's affected by some kind of betrayal. There are all kinds of things that are like that. We do have a lot about relationships here, so if you get your stability from a relationship, there could be something going on. So the third house has to do with siblings, communication, short distance travel, and also like new ideas and your surroundings, or rather than new ideas, more like knowledge, because the 11th house is where you would see new ideas. So we have the ring there. This could be signing a lease. It could be like signing paperwork for a new car, because we're talking about short distance travel there. It could be a legal contract, communication about a legal contract, and this is down here by this King of Cups, and part of the MMC triad down here at the bottom. So, the King of Cups could be also desiring to wed this Queen of Cups, which is a possibility too. Or your sibling might be getting married. You might have a sibling who is getting married. So the 4th house has to do with your home and family life. And again, is part of the MMC triad and is in direct opposition to your midheaven triad up here. So it is part of all of these situations that are going on in the current state of affairs that are going to lead directly to your destiny or future. Alright, so the 4th house is the cross. Another sign this month got the cross in the 4th house, and I don't remember who it was. I don't remember offhand. But the cross being in the 4th house, there could be a burden in your home or family life. Like, it could be that you are living in a place that's too expensive and the cost of that place is a burden to you, or it could be that you live far away from your family and not being able to see them is a burden to you, or there are a number of things like that. That could be the case. If we're looking at the ring and the cross and the king all together like this, it could be that you view marriage as a burden, that while you do want to be the King of Cups and be very committed to this Queen of Cups possibly, that you are not interested in the religious and legal ramifications of that, and would prefer to have your partnership be loyal without those factors. Now, we're getting over here into the 5th house, which is about creativity, romance, and also has to do with childhood. So this could be you as somebody's child, or it could be children in your life. And for that placement, we have the fish. So it could be that money is coming into you through means of creativity, or that, so we do have this Queen of Cups here. And it could be that money is coming in from a romantic partner, represented by this Queen of Cups. The 6th house has to do with your daily routines and also has to do with your health. So we will find out more about that here. Now, another thing that I'm noticing is that this child here is trine to the house of childhood, and that the child is square to the burdens that we're seeing in home and family. So there could also be like an unexpected pregnancy might be a factor in some of these situations. So the 6th house, we have the stork. The stork brings things. So as far as health is concerned, something could be brought to you. This could be, again, this could have to do with an unexpected pregnancy, but could also relate to somebody bringing you an opportunity to get vaccinated, or somebody bringing you an opportunity to get a kind of treatment that you would not have gotten otherwise if somebody wasn't just offering it to you wholesale. The 7th house. The stork could also be about meetings, lots of meetings as part of your daily routine too. So the 7th house has to do with partnerships, and your dealings with other people. So this can cover business and romantic partnerships, but it can also be legal cases and open enemies. So I have the Rider and the Tower coming out. It could be somebody, so the Tower can be like government or corporations, and then the Rider is somebody coming to you, so this could be somebody bringing you a legal contract. This also might have something to do with like receiving a summons, something that I'm getting pretty strongly as a message for somebody out there. An agent bringing you news of some kind, visiting your house to bring you news. So yeah, we're moving into the 7th house now. And the card that I get for that is the Book. The Book can be about secrets. As far as secrets are concerned in relationships, remember that we had the snake over here in the 2nd house. And this is over here by this 3 of Swords and by the Page of Cups. So the Book can be secrets. The Book can also be knowledge or learning things. So you could also be learning about the law, or learning, going onto social media to learn about other people. Whether that's open enemies or potential business partners or potential romantic partners. The 8th house here is about transitions, and can also be about other people's resources, other people's property. So death, sex, and taxes are all covered by the 8th house. And remember, that is still in the realm of our cards, which are about the future, and that is the Book, the Page of Cups, and the 3 of Swords so far. And we have for the 8th house, we have the House. And I think that Scorpio actually just got this card in the same position of being about the house. So this could be a house that's tied up in inheritance. It could also be that you rent someone else's house, And so it's not your property. You could be transitioning between living situations also. Those are a few of the different potential situations going on there. And remember, you have the fish square to that here in the house of romance too. Whereas Scorpio had similar placements, but where you have the cross, they had the fish here, so it was trine to the house. But you have the fish square to the house, and then you have this cross, this burden, trine to the house. Which could again be that you're renting from somebody and the cost of that property becomes prohibitive for you, becomes a burden. So the 9th house has to do with all the things you do to elevate yourself. It is the house that is ruled by Sagittarius, but of course if you are a Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius is going to be over here in your 1st house, which is still good because then you're you still have fire trine aligned with the houses, because typically the 1st house is ruled by Aries. So you're still a fire sign in that house. But these are things like long distance travel, academia, higher education and academia. It could also be related to your spirituality and spiritual organizations that you're a part of. And we have there a letter. Very interesting, very interesting. We have the letter coming out in your 9th house. So, this could be news coming to you about if you're waiting to hear if you got into a college. It could also be about hearing about taking a business trip somewhere that's far away. It could also be about being accepted into a secret society of some kind. Now remember, we also had the stork over here and the book over here in the 7th house of learning things about things. And remember, we had the rider and the tower come out. So it could be somebody coming to visit you from a religious organization, possibly. And we have this letter up here by the 8 of Pentacles. So that's giving us a little more clarity as far as that's concerned. Whereas it could be very well about a job or some kind of job prospects. The 10th house is career. So we'll find out much more about this, hopefully. And in this house, we get the mouse. The mouse has to do with things being eroded or eaten away. So that if you look here, the 8 of Pentacles, as I mentioned before, is a very long-term career energy. But it might be that you are getting further and further away from the career prospects that you have been trying to cultivate in your life. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to be able to make money. That's not what that means. It just means that there might have been a career path that you were trying to pursue, and you decide, or you make a series of decisions, I think is a better way to put it. Because it's never like totally up to you for one thing, and for another thing, one decision that you made, showing up as this eroding energy of the mouse. It seems like you are making a series of decisions that are kind of like eroding your ability to have that long-term stable career energy in your life. But you could still have something that's more like a contract or a gig type job. It just means that you might kind of jump around from job to job and not really stay at any one place for a long period of time. The 11th house has to do with your social groups, can also be social media, and iconoclasts. So anyone you know who's really outside the norm, that could even be you, Sagittarius. And we're also looking at novel ideas, brand new ideas that nobody's ever seen before. And remember, this is over here by your 10 of Wands, where we're looking at oppression and burdens. So we have some very burdened energy coming out in your reading for the month of May. We have a lucky break here, though. So you're going to have luck when it comes to either social media or coming up with a brand new idea. You might have a brand new idea that's very lucky for you, and could turn some of these things in a different direction. So not necessarily turn them 180 degrees fully around, but turn them in a direction that will still be beneficial for you, and you'll still be able to kind of bring forth this 6 of Wands and 3 of Wands situation that you're sitting on right now. So the 12th house has to do with your psychic intuition, and it also has to do with psychic intuition and endings. So it's bringing us full circle all the way back around 360 degrees to where we have the Child and the Page of Pentacles. The Child and the Page of Pentacles. And we have the Sun coming out. The Sun peeking its head out through the clouds. So even though there's been like some burdens to you here, and some different things are occurring that might keep you from walking down the path which you had originally intended, it looks like you still have luck on your side, and you have a happy ending coming in for you, Sagittarius, for the month of May. So I hope that answers all of your questions for this month, Sagittarius. If you enjoyed this reading, please let me know down in the comments. I will leave a link in the description if you would like to submit questions for future Q&A videos. I have a Google form you can fill out, and that way you can do it anonymously. Thank you, Sagittarius, for joining me today. I hope you have an excellent evening, a wonderful week, a magnificent month, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.